Are rednecks actually geniuses?
Today we're breaking down some of the most brilliant and not so brilliant feats of redneck engineering. First clip.
What in cousin?
Is that that's a pallet?
Alabama Betty Crocker. Miss Betty, what is this?
Was that a Bud Light? Oh, wow.
Wow. Okay.
It's cool and creepy at the same time. It's fucking creepy at the same time. Imagine that coming down the road.
It's like if I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I saw that, I'm pulling over. You can go past, man.
He just needs a little doll hanging in the front.
I know, yeah. So we've got a pallet being used as radiator support. A reservoir that's a Fireball bottle. First off, you lose points for it being Fireball.
Mechanically, it looks like everything's functioning tight.
But look at that on the front, dude. That's a little
I told you,
crazy,
something
right?
creepy.
It is
Something
a little
creepy.
bit.
What is that movie? The one where they...
Jeepers Creepers?
Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah,
that reminds me of Jeepers.
I knew exactly where you're going with
some
that.
real You
It's
better
a
have
little
nitrous if you're in front of this fool. This was chasing you.
I'm not scared. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna brake truck the crap out of him. It's gonna collapse that pallet, bust his radiator. He's gonna overheat. I just need to wait it out.
And her little Civic like this and that behind her. That gerbil is gonna get eaten by that.
I may or may not be able to take this guy, but I'm pretty sure I could take your Civic.
Oh, let me get a next clip. Badass.
Okay.
The overall.
That thing sounds pretty beastie.
Imagine that motor on that other truck looking like that with those. Oh, no, I'm scared already.
It must be for like a high-end demolition derby. Demo derbies,
Well,
you
yeah.
just need
You
to
know what?
run.
You're
You don't
right.
have to. You just need to be the last man standing.
I want to do that.
That would be so much
I'm
fun.
so down
Oh my
to do
God.
that. I will so hit you hard. That's
What? I was thinking collaboration, but okay, we could do that too. If I was just conceptually building a derby car, you need like a cage just for the motor, so you don't have a radiator that gets busted or whatever.
For sure, it'll be like an old Chevy Caprice.
I was thinking beat up Crown Vic.
Same thing.
Yeah.
They're solid. They used to use them as cop cars because the distance that they have from the radiator to the engine is pretty much like you could crash them, them up, and they're still rolling. I'm put like a little spatula. I'm gonna flip you like whoop.
So then I'll have to put hydros on mine so I could like bunny hop every time you try to do
And I launch you off. So you're gonna be hopping and be like, whoa, blades.
That's okay, I got a round cage up top, so then I'll just roll into that next clip.
Oh, that was a fucking good one.
If you want to see me plow into Sandra at a demolition derby,
What I get
some comments.
typical, like her versus me. That's kind of.
So I was wondering what this plug
Oh,
was
wait a
for.
minute. Okay, okay.
So then I traced the wires and noticed that we got a battery tender right here. So if your alternator stops working, all you need to do is just zip tie one of these bad boys under your hood and then hook it directly to the battery. So at night you just plug it in like a Tesla and you are good to go. That's some Americana right there, baby.
They started in hybrids. Okay.
I mean, he just put a built-in battery tender, but I'm really excited that he's excited.
I swear to God, that looked like a cereal box to me. I don't know why it said that.
Is that the writing?
Battery, yeah, it looks like cornflakes. or
Crunchy
something.
battery tenders. A battery tender is essentially a slow battery charger. So it's meant to trickle charge a battery, which is actually the best way to charge a battery because there are normal drains on the car, especially computer-controlled vehicles, where over time it can drain the battery. So a lot of times people either just disconnect the battery or you can hook it up to a battery tender that kind of keeps it at a nice charge where the battery is happy. But this is not going to replace an alternator. Unless maybe you just drive in town, you go back and forth to the grocery store that's like 5 or 10 minutes up the road, and then you could go back home, plug in your battery tender, it charges your battery back up. While the vehicle's running, your alternator is doing all of the electrical work for ignition, fuel, radio, all of the fun stuff. And then if there's anything left, it will charge the battery. When your alternator starts to get weak, it might do the other things, but it's not charging the battery, and so over time the battery will get weak. So a weak alternator can kill a battery. But if your alternator goes out, every one of the loads is on that battery, and the battery's not meant to do that. So it has a clock almost of when that battery is going to die. So when your battery light comes on, it's not the battery that's bad, it's the alternator that's no longer running the show. It's your battery running the show.
Can I get a next clip?
Okay, what's going on here?
The distributor.
He made his own.
Yep.
Something probably broke. He's
inside the
not
block.
close to parts place, or maybe couldn't afford parts or whatever. And hey, I've got this stuff going on and made this.
It has to be a Ford Ranger. I'm no stranger. Because you see the distributor goes right next to the head, like this to the side. So something broke in there. Maybe half of the distributor broke in there. Some of them you have to put them on timing. These you don't. Leave it in the comments if that's a Ford Ranger guy. I want to know if it is.
We need to know. You have an ignition coil. If we look at this right here, we've got an orange wire that is going to the center of the distributor. You have your ignition coil. That's a transformer that's taking your 12 volts and is turning it into however many thousand volts that coil's capable of. And it's gonna shoot, when it dumps, it's gonna shoot that high voltage down the center here. And in this distributor, and that's actually what we have this gear for, this gear is spinning a shaft that is spinning a rotor inside of here, and we can see that we've got 4 spark plug wires coming off, so that rotor is going to touch the point in this distributor cap to spark that cylinder, then that cylinder, then that cylinder, then that cylinder, and as it rotates, it's going around distributing a spark to each cylinder. There is a timing to this, right? Because sparks just can't happen whenever. They have to happen in between the compression and power stroke.
He was pretty smart because you see those
He had
those
to
gears,
match the gears, right?
The gears, the way he did them, and he chose the right gears because he didn't get like some tight gears. Cause say there's a little bit of play in that bracket, those gears are loose, so they're good enough. Damn, honestly, even this timing, the way he did it, that's so like kind of like amazing the way he set it up.
That's really cool.
I wouldn't mind trying that, something like that, just to see
Just
if it
for
even works.
funsies?
Yeah, just to see if it works. Let's engineer to the next clip.
We need to join a league for some redneck.
Yeah.
Look at that! Yeah! Dude, that's so cool.
And I was just thinking about that the other day.
And to use a drill motor for that, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
That's perfect, because then hit it, spins around, take off all the shit, spin it around, do the other side. I would just be spinning that for no reason at one point. Whoever makes a clock out of that is badass.
Oh, dude, that would be pretty wild.
You see the motor is like, what time is it? I don't know, the cam's at like
valve covers over
3:30?
yeah.
3:30?
They do make engine stands where you could like hand crank
Yeah.
it for it to go around, but they're expensive.
They're up there.
They're pretty pricey, and I don't think you can get one of those at Harbor
See,
Freight, though,
but
either.
once again, you see like these people come up with it because you don't have all the fancy tools.
You make it work.
You make it work. You build it yourself. That's tight. I give props to everybody that does like that.
Let's roll into that next clip.
This contraption right here.
That's
Oh,
This
look at that adjustable ride height.
connected to the leaf spring.
by all means, if that's your only vehicle, run it. But I mean, it's safe-wise is not as good because it could hop off.
The leaf spring shackle, what holds the spring onto the frame, rusted and broke. So nothing's holding that part of the leaf spring on the frame. So maybe he's just trying to drive around until he fixes the frame because it's rusted.
Until he buys another truck.
Yeah, hey, look, that's a great in between.
Yeah.
You're not loading that thing down or anything. You just need to get to and from work or into town or whatever you got to do.
He did it pretty decent, but I would do it wood. He's just doing it one angle, so that spot where it's at is gonna kink like that.
Right, yeah, because it's such a small area.
Yeah, so if you put a piece of wood like that,
It distributed the
yeah, and another piece of wood like that, just for fun, like arts and crafts and shit. And then like that, it'll probably work even better. That's what I would do.
I agree, yeah. I think that would be a better way to approach
Yeah.
it. Let's check out that next clip. Okay.
Lift?
Are we just using that as a lift?
Yes. I would so do that.
But he's under it.
Yeah, but when you go to a junkyard, they just put the
They
pallets in
move
it,
them
boom,
like that, but
butter.
sometimes they tip over. This is me being overly
You're not a redneck.
cautious. Oh,
I'm sorry.
that
You
hurts,
said you were
Sandro.
kind of redneckish? No, I'm brown, but if my neck could get super red, my would be like bright red. She's like, let's put it on this fancy ass
I want
lift.
to live.
But normally there's like computers and machines and stuff, and they tell the fuel pump when to pump fuel. But computers ain't too good at brain thinking, so
Brain?
you know, we cut that wire, we
Are
put in
they
our
not?
own wire.
Really?
This way, whenever we want fuel to pump, you know, we just take this, plug her in like that, and boom, you can hear it. Fuel is pumping.
Ford Mustang.
Yep, 5 points low. It's okay, I built some, I can say that. A fuel pump is just an electric motor. All it needs is power and ground. Yeah. There is some safety features in place in case you get into an accident. You know, if you roll over or something like that, it's supposed to turn off the fuel pump so you don't keep pumping fuel and blow up.
The right way to do this repair will be finding what's wrong with it. A wire's cut, a wire's burned, something fried, a relay gave out. That's how you really check it. I mean, fixing it correctly will be like changing the harness, putting it back into the harness, connected to the switch. Usually it goes onto the computer. And it depends on this one, it might be just straight to the switch.
I can't remember on the 5.0s, do they have a return type fuel system where there's a fuel pressure regulator on the end? Because if that's the case, a fuel pump just pumps the same all the time. You can do this. Newer cars, you couldn't do something like that because it regulates fuel pressure by pulsing the fuel pump, and obviously you lose all of that control if you're not using a computer.
I feel like I use that extension cord too.
I feel like I have a couple at home, and now I feel inspired to use them for other things.
You see all the stuff they do. Roll up the windows, charge your battery,
car.
turn on the car.
Endless possibilities.
That is a fire shirt. The extension cord and RMS. If you guys want that shirt,
we need
put it in
this.
the comment.
Put it in the comments.
Put it in the
Who wants
comment.
an extension cord?
An extension cord with RMS.
I've had fun. I've had fun. Woo!
Yeah. That's
All right.
Honestly, there's no purpose to it, just besides looking badass. I've actually lifted one.
Does somebody make a kit for that?
They actually do make a kit. I think the tallest tire you could put is 215, 75, 15. That's as big as you could go with that lift. With that lift, though.
Okay.
If you see it on a Prius, that's like super big.
Oh, looks huge, yeah.
Huge. That's like a 33. I mean, the turning ratio.
Where's at Papa John's?
Oh, he does work for Papa John's.
I'm giving this guy an extra tip. He comes to deliver pizza at my house. That's awesome. That's like,
tight.
here's for your lift kit, bro. And here's for those wheels.
That guy probably just wants to stand out, and he likes that style. He's never seen him save this much gas and go off-road. So he said, I'm gonna show everybody you could do it. Those are the entrepreneurs that start like that. They make a fucked up rig, it looks all cheesy, and then guess what? Somebody goes in there, mocks it up, makes it look cleaner. These engineers come in, they make a better rig or whatever, and then they start selling it.
If you're brave enough to try these different things out without fear of being judged, one of your ideas is gonna stick and people will be like, oh damn, that's cool.
Like I did my Acura Integra truck. Everybody was like, oh, it's ugly, this and that. Now there's more people doing it, but I was shined upon. I was one of the first ones to do it.
Right.
That is tight, because if somebody sees it on the road, why would you do that to a Prius? Why not? Engineering-wise, props. I don't know how you'll steer it. I want to see that bust a U-turn. Bust a U-turn.
It's a point turn.
You know, in one of the videos that we did, they have that fender that moves back and forth. You can use that for your fenders, because if it does hit, it'll flex.
Wow.
So
okay.
That'll be tight.
Yeah. Let's check out the next clip.
Homemade fuel pressure tester. Look at that. We got 50 PSI. Let's go. And this is just a piece of metal off an old junk car.
You made his
Clips
own
into
adapter.
there. Boom, hose clamp onto the fuel rail. Just a little fitting I found, and a pressure gauge.
A lot of times when you buy a fuel pressure tester kit, it doesn't come with all of the adapters that you need. Toyota is one of those that can be a pain in the butt.
As long as it works, it's perfect. He could have gone extra dramatic, and like the boys, you know how they used to put gauges on the side? You put that motherfucker right there, like chilling. I'd be like, what is that? My gauge. Makes me a cool guy.
Any type of port fuel injection is going to have a higher fuel pressure, so you don't want to run a high pressure line that's got hose clamps on it. However, when you're just testing fuel pressure, that's perfectly fine. As long as the clamp's tight enough so nothing's leaking out or a line's not popping off, I don't see any downside to this at all. There's no damage to the current lines that are there. You're just teeing in to see what the fuel pressure is. Maybe he's doing an injector balance test. Maybe he's seeing the performance of his fuel pump. Maybe he's testing a fuel pressure regulator. It's on there temporarily, so I don't see any downside to this at all.
If it's not permanent, I mean, that's cool, but if it's permanent, just check those little clamps, and that's about it. You guys are the best. These videos get crazier and crazier.
These are awesome. These are really good ones.
You know what would have been even more crazy? What was digital.
A digital gauge?
A digital gauge.
That would have been a really big flex, digital redneck. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a little snowman.
It does look like a snowman, like a little snow beard, like when you're taking a bubble bath and you make a fake bubble bath beard.
Oh, the song, do you want to build a snow garden?
That's
Do
really
you want to come and play? It looks double cheeked up. You see, it's all double cheeked up.
It is cheeked up. Look at that. That thing's thick.
To me, the back's always been like a face and the front is a face because when you're driving and you're looking at
That's
it.
what you're seeing.
So you're seeing like, to me right now, I'm seeing like big cheeks because they got stung and the little eyes because it's like,
What does he do that with, Sandro?
it could be fiberglass, but it's foam and then fiberglass over it. That's how you normally do like the body kits. They used to do them out of clay. You'll do one fender and then you copy it to this side. So you lay clay and then you trim it down because it's easier to cut down with a little blade. But now what they do is like, you put like cardboard over it and then you just put the foam in there and just inflates to like whatever design you're doing. And then you shape it and then you sand it down, then you put fiberglass if you're gonna make a copy of it or to make it smoother and then bondo, whichever one you want. It don't matter what anybody says. If you like it, that's what it is. It looks...
It's a concept.
Yeah,
it's a concept.
It's the beginning. It's the beginning. Especially if it's your first time, I give you props, bro.
Yeah.
You just said, let me run with it, and you ran with it. Now, where's the lights at?
Yeah, we gotta put those lights back, my guy. We gotta put those lights back.
Yeah, dude, need some lights.
Let's look at that next clip.
Vámonos, let's go.
Okay.
Sexy like always. That's just a flex.
I mean, instead of using jumper cables, you could always use wrenches.
Well, let's just say you're jump starting it, the way you're tilting it, acid lands on your fingers. I mean, safety first, right? But I guess.
Like, you're in a pinch and you got some wrenches?
Yeah, you're ready to roll. It works because it's direct.
Yeah, just don't put your face over that. If you want to see even more ingenious hacks, click here. I'm Angelina.
I'm Sandro, and this was RMS, baby. Catch you guys in the next clip.